What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly rip with Coach Rick and Coach Tut. We are packing lips and dropping tips. Coach Ricky, how the hell are you, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm fired up. I got this new studio set up here in my bedroom.
Can we get
one thing?
Any way you can turn the computer so we could see the setup? Or
yeah, you know what? You guys want a tour? Okay, so here's my desk. That computer is actually plugged into nothing. It's just for show. So, and then I have this little TV stand as my table, and then this cool lamp that makes me look a little prettier stood up on my hamper. And then this mic here, thanks to you.
Mics are
but no stand, which I'd like to stand. See, look, I can get up, I can move around, and you can still hear me. I can be agile. But yeah, fucking ready to rock, baby.
You are pretty juiced up tonight. We also have a special guest. I don't think I can lift my computer. I can't. Oh, no, you can't see her. We got baby Emmy down here today. She's making an appearance. She's a little
Emerson. How are you?
John Jacob. No, we're not getting into that. But dude, shout out, got my master shirt on. Looking a little windy, but
I was gonna say it looks like wedding tut.
That's pretty fucked up.
Just so everybody doesn't know.
Ashley says I looked nice that day.
Well, of course, it was your wedding day. Tut lost like 80 pounds for his wedding.
I'll tell you my mindset behind that was I know 10, 15 years, I'm just going to be really big and fat. So I wanted to at least be able to show my kids, like, look, like at one point he was in shape. You know what I'm saying? So it's really literally was just for that. Get as skinny as possible for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the 4,000 Instagram posts that you have up currently of yourself, like shirtless, deadlifting, lifting weights, could also possibly prove that you were in quality shape. But, you know, the wedding pictures are definitely...
You don't know where all this is going to go. The cloud could crash. They could cancel Instagram. These aren't things. I have a hard copy book of my wedding that I will never lose.
Touche. Hopefully I have one of those one day. Maybe not.
You know. Oh, God bless you.
Open market.
Bless you. So
God bless you.
Let's go through the tweet that I sent you. Little. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's review the weekend. We had a big guest on last Friday. I think for some people it could be a little controversial because of what he's really known for, and that's masculinity and talking that masculinity is not toxic. So I think it was a really good person to have on to just kind of touch on some of the current events that are going on without getting too deep into picking sides, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was able to get out there, but Dave seems like a really good dude. Super smart guy too, that I didn't, he doesn't really put that out there, but you said he has what, the master's in physiology and his undergrads in engineering,
biochemistry or something.
Biochemistry.
Yeah.
Valedictorian at his high school, like super smart guy, has a ton of different knowledge and a ton of different stuff. So I'm excited to hear the pod when it comes out.
It was pretty cool. I mean, a lot of stuff we talked about on the podcast wasn't too much about that, but we spent a lot of time during the lift. I guess the lift you call it after we deadlifted, we didn't do too much, but talking more like little detail stuff. And he's super knowledgeable guy in a lot of aspects outside of training, which is cool, which kind of goes into that thing that we always talk about. Like, even like you said, oh, you don't see the fact that he's that smart. People are put off by muscles and a beard. They think, oh, he just lifts things up and put things down. Much like a lot of people probably think about you. People are like, I didn't know Rick was that smart. Yeah, because he just walks around all fucking all the time. You know, it's like a meathead persona.
What did Coach Cox say? He says, cautious, trust, but verify, or something like that, right?
For anybody that spent time under the bar.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to do that with anybody that you have an initial judgment on. You have a cautious trust, and then verify if your initial judgment is true or not. You know what I mean? But his whole topic, the masculinity thing, I mean, it just goes back to the extremes. You have people on one end of the extreme, and majority of those people aren't in that fucking end. You know what I mean? It's like,
did you see some of the comments on his post that he posted with like Candace Owens thing and stuff though?
No.
I texted him. I was like, dude, I could just live in your comments right now and be the highlight of my day.
Really?
People, males too, going at him, and it's like, he's like, I'm not saying that you need to be any certain way to be a man, but don't come at me about being a man my way.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. It's like, why are you worried about how someone is living their life? If they're successful providing for their family, they're not injuring anybody else, not putting anybody else at risk. What the hell's the difference? What's the
Dude,
big deal?
one thing, I don't want to give too much away about what he said, but he makes a really good point about one thing. It's like, it's okay for you to walk into a restaurant and body shame a bodybuilder for being too big, right? It's okay because they had to work hard for that. It's not okay for you to walk into a restaurant and body shame someone for being overweight and obese because people say it's not their choice or whatever. Why is it either way? Why, So that was a really good thing that he dove into, and it kind of got my head spinning a little bit.
I know. I mean, and it's the too many people are quick to judge. You know what I mean? In sense of outspoken and shame somebody for something. You know what I mean? I think judgment within your own self is okay. If you're judging somebody initially, you create your own idea of who that person is, and then, like we said, you verify that judgment. You don't go do anything brash or anything about it, but you collectively collect, or you progressively collect information upon what you think of that person. It's the same thing with this COVID stuff, dude. In my opinion, we are at the point where it's like there's so much different things going on that it's starting to contradict themselves. Where, like, I get it. It's a dangerous disease. You got to try to control it to some extent. But to say that gyms, bowling alleys, movie theaters all have to close, but yet big business Walmart can stay open. Why can't we make it where if we're trying to control the disease, why are we funneling all these people into one building? Right? Okay, you can control the population into one building. I get it. Why don't we, the people who lose their jobs, why don't we employ these big businesses, Walmarts, the supermarkets, these big moguls, employ these people to deliver food? You know what I mean? If we want people to stay inside, then let's lock it the fuck down. Let's fucking go at lockdown, and then we can control it. Have the people that lost their jobs or on furlough, whatever it is, go work for these companies and help deliver food and groceries and supplies to these people that are locked down. It's like, certain businesses can stay open, certain businesses can't. If you're a professional athlete, I guess you're just exempt from COVID altogether. The NFL is not going to shut down. I guarantee you the NCAA is going to have March Madness, whether it's in a bubble or whatever. They ain't going to lose that again. So it's like, I don't know. I get it. We have to figure it out. But I think whoever's in charge of this, and I'm not too knowledgeable in it, but from what I'm hearing, it's like there's so many different contradicting ideas, and it doesn't seem like we're evaluating it in whole.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't check every box when you make a plan because there's too many unknowns. There's too many variances of the different things that you can't account for when you're making your checklist. You know what I'm saying? I'm all over the place back here. Oh, little baby. Oh, someone wants to make a guest appearance, maybe? You want to come here?
Pause in the action. Pause in the action.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, look at her.
You say hi?
She looks confused.
She's very cranky. She's like so cranky to the point she won't sleep, but she's so tired. She just
she looks tired.
She's like, oh, who's that dude? He was just here. But yeah, I always say we're becoming to the point, we're at the point of no return almost. Either way. So be interesting to see what happens, what's coming up.
You know what I'm most interested to see is like 25, 30 years from now, like what's going to be written in the textbooks of how this was handled, what was the repercussions. And we could all be wrong and be like, yeah, we totally underplayed this and it wiped out a ton of people and maybe our population decreases by a third. Hopefully that's not the case. But we could be kind of going off our first reaction and doing whatever, but it just seems that there's so many different contradicting ideas out there with it that it's hard for people to believe in it. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's so divisive the way people are going about it is it's hard to believe what people are saying when they're contradicting themselves time and time again.
Yeah, because you hear one thing and then you read another on Twitter. You know, it is what it is. I don't want to dive too deep into that for people, but people are preparing for different things. But what I will say on that is, what's that TikTok, the TikTok of the week that I sent you?
Oh, let me get it. So
phenomenal one.
It definitely deep. If you want to talk deep.
Yeah, we went a little deep this weekend. It hit on me because he was talking about sick. I just had a little temperature for a day or two. So I was actually kind of freaking out more about COVID than I ever have before just because of her and everything. Obviously I'm negative for everything, but
yeah, I mean, I had a similar experience where I was in quarantine and I was almost for sure going to test positive. I thought I was, but I never did. So it does hit a little bit home when you see people around you getting it and this, that, and the other. Like, I don't want to downplay the disease whatsoever. I'm more concerned about the protocols and what we're trying to do to fix it. But nonetheless, okay. Happiness versus desire. I'm going to play it here.
Every man has two lives, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one.
Wow.
Or another one is next time you get sick. It's like a happy person wants 10,000 things. A sick person just wants one thing. Right? So it's your unlimited desires that are clouding your peace, your happiness. Have desires, but just be very careful of your desires. This is the oldest, most trite wisdom. Desire is suffering. That's what it means, right? Every desire you have is an axis where you will suffer. So just don't focus on more than one desire at a time. The universe is rigged in such a way that if you just want one thing and you focus on that.
Dude, on point.
Yeah.
Your desires are, what was it? Your desires are what is like the root for all your unhappiness, because you're never fully happy in the moment or with what you have because you're always looking to the next. When he said that thing about being sick, I was so sick the last 2 days that I was like, I don't give a shit about anything. I just don't want to be sick anymore. It's the only thing I wanted. You're not thinking about cars. You're not thinking about businesses. You're not thinking about anything else. And when you can focus on the one thing you got in the moment, everything changes.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's a loaded statement. I mean, you can put yourself in so many different perspectives or situations with that similar thought process. Somebody in your family's dying or you're injured. If you're an athlete and you get a serious injury, like all you want to do is just get back on the field. Nothing else matters. But I think it goes back to the cliche statement of like just living in the process, trusting the process, having your goals in mind, but just making sure that you have the process as your main driver, like just little step by step, trying to reach that end goal. You ever hear Matthew McConaughey talk about who his biggest hero is?
Yeah, love it.
He's like, it's me 10 years from now. You know what I mean?
Dr. Crow and I talk about that all the time because there's a quote: if you love the journey and every step of the way, you allow yourself to be happy every step of the way, because the end goal is not what you love. It's the journey to get there. So you're allowed to be happy during the day-to-day work, the ups and downs and everything. It's we talk about that all the time. Like I love getting on here. Obviously, whatever, a couple months ago, we would stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock on Zoom, trying to come up with new ideas to grow this business and shit like that. I love that. I think more than I would love when we're in a fucking huge 200,000 square foot warehouse with 100 employees. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love getting in the trenches doing that shit.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, once you get there, you're still going to be thinking about the same thing. How do you get to 200 employees? How do we have 2 warehouses? That kind of thing. You're always going to be thinking about that. And your desires, if you're a ambitious person, your desires are never going to end. So if you always are worried about reaching that desire, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to. So you have to always keep that in mind, but enjoy the process to get there.
How do you think it's more just being aware and conscious of it? How do you think you can do a good job or do a better job of that, of being more happy in the now and the present? Like it's a tough thing. It's a lot easier said than done.
Oh, I think it's
because you always look back. It's like that quote. I wish you could know the good old days when you were in the good old days.
Yeah.
Because you always I look at the time we're at Nova. That's the good old days. I didn't know that then. I was always looking at where can I go get a full-time job.
Oh, it's never ending. You know what I mean? But I think there's a couple things. I think number one is knowing that you have so much time in reality. Like, yeah, everybody says life's short, which is true. So you want to be able to know that in the time that you have, you got to take advantage of those steps. So by knowing that, okay, well, you're 31, right? 31.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure. 20. I'm 27. Like, I have 50 years, hopefully, on average. That could be debatable, but to live yet. You know what I mean? Like, and then if you think about it, how long ago does high school feel, or even the end of college feel? Like, how long ago does that feel? You know, just think of that times 4. That's how much time you actually have. You know, so just realizing that you have a ton of time to get to your end desire. You know what I mean? And then I think the second thing is being self aware and knowing who you are and trying to take yourself outside of the situation, detach from certain situations. So if you're feeling frustrated or whatever, that you're not getting what you think you need to be done in that certain time, just detach from the situation, evaluate it, and kind of see where you need to go from there. You know what I mean? Why do you feel frustrated? Why do you feel like you're not getting things done, or you're spending too much time on things that, you know, might not be so important at that time? Refocus on certain things that you need to refocus on. So I think those two things can really help in just enjoying the process and finding something that you really enjoy doing. If you're doing something that you really don't like, then you're obviously going to be miserable, and you're really not going to have a desire to, you're never going to reach your end goal if you are doing something that you don't like.
Yeah, and I was talking to Doc the last couple days because I haven't really been able to go anywhere. And I was like, I need to get down to the other gym. I want to go do this. Should I do that? Should I, rest? Right. And he's like, there's nothing that we could go down there and get done today that can't be done Friday or Saturday. He's like, the more important thing is that you rest right now, recover so you're good. So, whatever. And it's like, it kind of puts into perspective of more prioritizing things that there's no point in me sitting on my phone when I get home at 7:30 at night and try to get a couple more Instagram followers or build up this thing that I can do that tomorrow. Or should I spend the time with my wife and kid that for 30 years, that's all I was working towards? Like, that's all I wanted to get to, right? And now that you have them and you're not going to spend the time with them because you want to go work on the next thing, it's like little things like that put into perspective of allowing yourself to enjoy the moments that you're in without always working to the next thing. Because there's so many things and we're all very strict on like get things done on time and everything. But if you go about your days the way that you're supposed to and you do the right things, that you got to be able to identify things that you can put off and prioritize. Like Cox said in that podcast, it's not helping him, his daughter, his wife, his community. He has to sacrifice and prioritize things.
I mean, I struggle with that a lot of times. It's just, I find something I want to do and I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it now. But then I look back, I'm like, that really wasn't that big of a deal at the time. I really shouldn't have done that, and that's where you get frustrated. Then you have to take a step back. Okay, I am where I'm at now. How do I get back to where I want to be or get back on track?
I'll tell you what's really kind of fucked me up a little bit. Not fucked me up, but I was talking to Bennett, buddy, that, I had him on a podcast once. Someone I look up to a lot. And he was like, we're always the same type of person. Like, usually you just outwork people, right? If something has to get done, you just work more hours. When I've had to try to get more work done in less hours of the day because you're prioritizing, you just have to be more conscious of the decisions you're making during either your work day or your personal life to be able to put things and understand what comes first. But it fucked me up for a while because I can't just stay at the gym till 9:00 every night. I can't stay on here with you guys. You guys were on here last night at 8:30. I couldn't be on here, I wanted to go spend time with my family, but it's different. There's times where that kind of eats at you a little bit because you want to be able to be there all the time. But my priorities are my wife and kid at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it has fucked with me a little bit more, but that's where I should have been on with you guys earlier in the day during my working hours, stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to, just detaching from the situation, calm down, relax, and just try to be aware of where you're at and what your plan is. Have a plan, stick to that plan. And like I said, I got to be better at it. I'm pretty instinctual, and my acts, like I said, I have a little too much fuck it. Where
Do
a lot
you
of times,
nap during the day?
Sometimes my body just tells me when I need to shut down.
Because people give me shit. They always say, you just got sick because you burn at both ends of the candle. You don't shut off. You always do this. And then boom, right? You're up before I am. And you're usually up as late if not a little later than me. I'm like, how the fuck does he do it? How the fuck doesn't he burn out and get sick? I don't get burned out mentally. I just get burned out like physically. I get to a tipping point every fucking year where I'm just like, I don't allow my body any time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if you feel tired, you gotta rest. You know, it's the same thing with training. If you feel like shit, you gotta take some time, take some, I don't want to say off, but deload it or whatever. When I feel like I need to shut down, then hey, I'll find some time, take 20 minutes, and it kind of rejuvenates you a little bit. But I think just knowing and looking back, evaluating of what you've done in the past couple of days, like, wow, I'm really burning both ends of the candles here. I need to maybe take half a day and just kind of relax, reset a little bit, and get back to full strength here. So
And I
it's
think
just kind of
saying no to things and people is important. I struggle with. I'm a yes man.
same, dude, same. Like I I want to try to do whatever I can for an athlete if they reach out and they want extra work, or a friend wants to get into a program or whatever it is, and you want to say, yeah, I got you, and then like you're like, oh my god, I kind of bit off too much than I can eat here, so saying no.
Training wise, I see you doing a little different things just to move gears a little bit. Actually, when Dave was here this weekend, I was talking to him a lot. I was like, what do you do for training? You're fucking huge, bro. He's like, honestly, man, the last like year, I'm just having fun with it. I just go do what I want to do. He's like, I'm not doing anything. He's like, I know if I train hard or not, but I'm having fun training right now. I was like, I love training too, but I've pushed myself really hard a lot. Always. He's like, dude, I'll go in. If I want to do chest and back, I'll do chest and back. If I want to do just legs, if I want to, I'll do that. He's like, I'm just having fun.
So I think the first question that is, how long you think he's been training? Can he tell you?
Well, he was a CrossFitter up until 2010, I believe, or 2013.
Okay. So
big CrossFit guy.
So 2010, right? So that's 10 years of training. You know what I mean? When you get to the point of that, where you've been training for a long time, you can go into the gym and kind of mess around, have fun, but still get quality training stimulus because you know where your limits are. You know how your body feels. You know where you can be at. And you've earned the right to be able to do that because you've had time in the gym, time training. You know what I mean? For somebody who's just starting out, I personally would recommend against that and always having some type of plan to stick to, because if you don't, you won't have the consistency that you're looking for to gain the results that you want. So if I'm just starting in the gym, I want to have a week plan, a 4-week plan, whatever it is going into it, and find somebody that knows. If you don't know, find somebody that does know to help you out, put something together. Because if you don't, you won't know where, especially if you're not super passionate about it in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of on the other end of the spectrum where we're super passionate about training. We love it. So like, it's easy for us, where other people, it's not easy. They don't really want to do it. They have to like learn that passion or get passionate about it before they get to the point of like, yeah, I'm just going to go in the gym and mess around. For somebody who doesn't have that natural ambition to do that, I think you really need to have some type of plan going in. But yeah, I think as you get going and as you learn, you have to really reflect on what you've done and how you've done things, and look back, what worked, what didn't work, and constantly keep notes and have an idea of where you're at and where you want to go. Because if not, like I said, you're going to burn out.
Talk to me a little bit about this No Windy Sleeves digest I'm hearing and seeing. Huh?
Okay, so first one just went out yesterday. Kind of called it the pilot, so a little bit of a trial run just to see what kind of responses we got, but seemed pretty positive. I know your mom was hyped up about it.
Juiced up, man.
Yeah, so seems like we got some good results. We're gonna put out a link to where you can sign up for it, and
what's gonna be in them?
So anything regarding training, we'll have some different articles in there. Like this one was, kind of what we just talked about, the idea of exercise versus training, having a plan, not having a plan, how to go about doing things, some motivational videos, or, just different things like that, where just little nuggets of knowledge that you can kind of just start your day off with. Nuggets of knowledge, you like that?
Wow.
You start your day off, give you a little pick me up to start your day. Just a nice little something to read as you have some downtime. So It's fun. I like doing it and trying to put different things together and seeing what kind of response we get from it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is to keep it. It's not salesy. We're not pushing things. It's really not for us to get out new launches. It's another way for us to get out a little bit of information throughout the week. Like someone, just one tip throughout the week. Like this week was training versus exercise. And then, some updates of the company, apparel wise or supplements if people want them. But the main piece of it is to be able to provide a little bit of motivation and a little bit of information on another platform that I think you're gonna be able to reach a lot of people. And I always say things that you can read and shit, I feel like they resonate a lot differently when you can see it written out,
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I do so much better writing things than I do talking about things. Like maybe it'll come with time, but right now I'm so much more comfortable and I feel like I can put down on paper what I actually want to talk about. So that's why I like it. It's fun for me.
Can we get a Coach Rick blooper reel out in one of those?
Yeah. I try to put something entertaining in there at some point, just to keep it light. Like it's not going to be anything serious for sure. Like I want it to be fun and try to get some interaction. Like we'll have polls on there, different things like that. Hopefully we'll have like, Pete doing something stupid or something in there.
I have a little blooper I'm going to put out probably tomorrow, but let's talk about the word authenticity.
Okay. I thought there was an F in that word forever. Authentication. But I guess it doesn't have an F. Authentication code. Authentication. I didn't know that was a word. Authorize, authenticate, authentication. It's a word. Didn't even know it.
Authentication.
Yeah.
That was about a 3-minute video of you and I trying to figure out, and I only got the last 3 minutes. The first 2 were probably the better ones. I should do that. I should do a word of the week. You try to come in and pronounce it.
I'll tell you what. Talking about bloopers. Okay. So this morning, I put out on my story, give me some challenges for the egg flip. So somebody said blindfold or close your eyes. So I put my bandana over my face and pulled my hat down. Right. And I pretty much got it. I think one of the eggs fell off onto the ground. Right.
Is it on your story right now?
Yeah, it should be up there. But you can't see afterwards. So once it ended, right, I go to I take the eggs off, put it on my plate, and it's a styrofoam plate, right? And instead of going to put the pan back on the burner, I put the plate down, right? And I have a gas stove, dude, and it went up in flames. Yeah, so literally I had flaming styrofoam and eggs flying everywhere after that. So it was a little bit of an adventure this morning.
That is freaking great. Holy crap. Well, I look forward to more of this. I actually had two good egg flips today, so you would have been proud. I had some hang time. I'm getting better. I've been housing some eggs, trying to get back from this little illness. I think the eggs and the vitamins and the yolk, will help me out a little bit. So I probably had 10 eggs today.
Yeah, man. Quality nutrition. That's the other part of it is you taking care of yourself. You won't be as likely to physically burn out,
Yeah, I usually eat pretty good. I think it was a combination of no sleep. I started feeling a little sick Thursday night, and then we had Dave here, so I was just overcompensating with caffeine, getting hyped. Then I was at a wedding outdoors Friday night. Woke up, worked Saturday morning, trained Saturday afternoon. Dave was here, had a couple of drinks Saturday night with some friends outside. Woke up Sunday, had that podcast. You didn't even know. I guess I had my game face on, but
yeah, he looks great.
Did that podcast with 102 temperature, dude. I thought I was gonna die, but I battled through. That's how important it was for me. D-Nice. But yeah, no, another weekly rips. It's always a pleasure, Rick.
Oh yeah,
I actually look forward to these every week. I wish we could do them every night.
Hey, you know what? Maybe one day we will.
Maybe we could do one every day to start off the day when we work together in that 200,000 square foot building that we own.
Hopefully this segment right here can be the intro to it.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Oh, shit.
All right, team. Well, I really appreciate you all. And
wow.
Who's that stunning young man who's making a guest appearance at the end of the weekly rip?
Does he go into business meetings with this photo as his intro?
Yes.
What's wrong with the photo, Rick?
Nothing. It's very dashing.
Well, I hope I'm not messing up this little podcast or weekly rip that you're doing, but I'm butt naked. I just got out of the shower, so that's why that photo is up there as such.
Brooke, look at my sleeves.
Give us a preview.
Yeah, you got that. That might be an XL, kid.
It is. All right, team. Well, we appreciate you.
Nobody wants a preview. Yeah. No.
Come on.